Hey guys, Retro Reviews here again with another Age of Extinction video review, and this time I'm going to be doing the leader class version of Optimus Prime, done in his new Western Star semi-truck mode. Now, as you can see, this is a lot different than first edition Optimus Prime. As you can see, there is a lot more chrome going on. We've got chrome in all the necessary places. We've got it here. We've got it in the smokestacks. We've got it in the sun, or in the visor. We've got it on the grill and the entire bumper. And we got it on the side steps. The only parts that we don't have it where it could have been needed are the Autobot logoed hubcaps as before. This part of the gas cap behind here, and then the Western Star logo from before. But it still looks very nice. The only problem I have with this vehicle mode is the choice of urine yellow plastic, translucent plastic for the clear bits. And that's because of the sword. That's to give it the sword a more energized look. I understand that. But I really wish they would have chose blue for his windows. And real quick-ish, I guess. Go ahead and I'll show him off next to Peterbilt 357 Optimus Prime versus the new Western Star Optimus Prime. As you can see, scaled not nearly as good. This is clearly supposed to be a lot bigger if it's going to be in scale with this leader Optimus, but it's nice. Now, its proportions are a lot better than first edition Optimus Primes, and I forgot to transform them because I was going to have him in robot mode, show him off differently there, but as we've seen before, it's a very easy transformation. I can get this cracked out without having to take up too much time here. So just bear with me. I swear, every time I go to play with, or I go to transform this Optimus, it feels very knockoff quality. And it's just because of all the hollow panels that make him up, but just to show off that it is a much different figure. There we go. There is the first edition Optimus, as you see, much bigger, but the proportions are much squat. Much more penny racer style proportions, if you will. And the red is a lot more vibrant on the first edition. I wish we would have had this choice of red for this Optimus Prime. Instead, we get a little bit more of a darker red, and it doesn't show up nearly as well, and it shows up really dark on camera, as you can see. And it's okay. I mean, it gets the job done, but it's not necessarily the right kind of red that I would have wanted for this figure. So anyways, real quick, transforming first edition back into robot mode. And gonna go ahead and show him off next to High Octane Bumblebee and Crosshairs, and then gonna go ahead and show them off next to Generations Classic Bumblebee thingy, IDW Bumblebee. See, we've already got too many Bumblebees in this era, so that's confusing. So anyways, moving on, he does have he does have weapon storage. As you can see, we got the Sword of Judgment hiding under there. And then we also got the Vector Shield, which is much, much vastly different than the Sentinel Shield that Optimus Prime's first edition figure came with. Which, in all actuality, is not very different. This is just splayed out a bit more in the center, as this is more splayed out here. And then it's got the same design. It's just this is elongated on here and ends with a triple-barreled gun of some sort. And it's made out of actual hard plastic instead of Frisbee plastic. Is what this feels like. This feels like a Frisbee. And it throws like a Frisbee. So this is much stronger plastic. And it, just like before, the Vector Shield can plug onto the trailer hitch, so you can shoot at Decepticons who are coming behind you. So now go ahead and transform it. It is vastly different than first editions, but promotional pictures kind of show like the same thing going on. But start off, come up here, take that and fold it forward, then split it and split it out. Take these pieces, fold them down, and fold them all the way out, so all this kind of comes along with. Then go ahead and take this and fold it up, lock it into place, collapse the wheels down into the backpack, and makes the backpack a little bit more cohesive. Untab those for later. Take the arms, fold them out. Take the front part of the truck, split it in half, fold down the legs. Rotate the grills around, the grill pieces around, and then take this piece and fold it around, and then fold the wheel section around like so, and then take the foot and fold it out, and do the same over on this side. Fold that down, fold that around, and fold that around. And then take his waist and rotate it around. Then take these pieces, fold them in, and kind of get them lined up with the skirt. And then fold the front piece of the skirt down. And then go ahead and come up here. Fold those down to hang over his arms. Try to get his arms positioned in a way you find comfortable, and then go ahead and push down the chest, and then his head pops up. One last thing you can do is you can take the sheath thing that the Sword of Judgment is clipped onto, and it rotates at an angle there, and I think at another angle here. No, this one's just straight. This one's at an angle. So then when it rotates up and then clicks back into place, we have a sheathed sword on his back. But there is Optimus Prime in his robot mode, and a very, for what it is, a very nice Optimus Prime figure. He still has chrome chest going on, but this time it's a lot, it's just for the front of his chest. It's not the whole entire thing, making him look like a Christmas tree ornament. And yeah, this one goes to looking a lot more like the CG model in the show, or in the movie, versus the promotional images. So we're going to go ahead and take for first edition Optimus, and as you can see, neither one of them are fitting on my camera right now. So there the two of them are. And as you can see, the varied differences between the two. This one being a lot better proportioned, and this one just looking like a hunk of knockoff plastic. And feeling like a hunk of knockoff plastic, too. Hang on, I gotta lower the camera now. Alright, so, excuse me. So yeah, it looks a lot better. Now, the only problem is that most people will have is the backpack. But granted, on what it is and how this is a new truck Optimus with a new robot mode, we've got to find a new way to incorporate the vehicle into the robot without it becoming a nightmare as much as Revenge of the Fallen Optimus. Now, I'm not saying that was a nightmare. It's just this gives us a chance to get familiar with the robot and the vehicle mode before we get just similar like how 2007 had the simplified Optimus, or how it was a lot more simplified compared to Revenge of the Fallen. But excuse me. Overall, does look very nice. I do like the new head sculpt with the new earpieces and the new mouth plate. That does give him, it still gives him his classic Optimus Prime look for the movie, but it does add some new features. Keeps him looking fresh without alienating him too much. New smokestacks hanging off of his back, which are triple smokestacks on each side, and that looks cool. We've got this chest plate going, which I've got a problem about this chest plate, but I will talk about that in a moment. We do have some nice asymmetrical arm design going for the forearms. We got this side with a big peg thingy sticking up over here, and this side kind of just being blank and getting paint scratched off of it already. And we also have some nice leg detailing, except for we got an entire front part of the cab of the truck hanging off of the back of his feet. So aside from some of the design qualms that I have with this guy, he's pretty awesome. So posability, his head is on a ball joint, and it's a nice ball joint, but with the spring-loaded gimmick, that will tend to happen almost every other time you go to transform him. Unless you make sure that you push the head down all the way when you go to transform him. And yeah, but shoulders are nightmarish. And I actually intend on using the word nightmare this time describing these. They ratchet forward and backward pretty well, but the distance between ratchets on moving outward is a little shameful. Because they bend this far, or they're like straight down, and then if you want them a little bit splayed out, that's as little splayed out as you want. So he's already getting his arms extended out way too far than what he needs. And then you could kind of argue that he has some forward shoulder movement due to the transformation hinge, but that's not really that. Thanks to the transformation, we do get a waist swivel, as well as ratchets everywhere on this guy. We got ratchets for forward and backward, as well as out to the side movement for the hips. A swivel at the knee for some swiveling motion, as well as more ratchets in the knee. And then big old ball joint in the feet for all kinds of movement. So very nice. And also for arms, we do have elbow rotation as well as elbow rotation for that, which is ratcheted. And then we have a thumb joint to hold on to his weapons, even though that's completely unnecessary, because we would have been able to take the Sword of Judgment and slide it into his hand just fine without the use of a thumb joint. And I think that takes up parts count, and that makes me upset, because this would be nice to have a wrist swivel instead of a thumb joint, which serves only the purpose to put a weapon in his hand. But anyways, He does look very nice in this form. We're going to go ahead and equip him with his Vector Shield. As well as we're going to go ahead and take the Sword of Judgment out, which it just slides out. And as you can tell, it is much better painted than the Sword of Judgment that comes with First Edition Optimus Prime. Which also some people have had problems with First Edition Optimus Prime's weapons not being painted on at all. But go ahead and slide that on, and it does clip in. But yeah, there he is holding his weapons now. Very, very nice. Very decent. I still wish with the wrists we could have got some kind of wrist swivel, considering a sword-wielding character needs a wrist swivel for some awesome poses, and we don't get any good poses out of them, really, considering... Well, we get some decent poses in them, but that's about it. Oh, so there is Optimus Prime. And then here he is with the Evasion Mode Optimus Prime real quick. First Edition Optimus Prime. And then... Hang on, let's move Evasion Mode down there. And then put Movie 1 Optimus... or Revenge of the Fallen Optimus Prime right over here. Just to get a good look at the differences between... now and then and whatnot. But yeah, so there we have the Optimus Prime from Age of Extinction. Very nice figure. I do highly recommend him. A very great figure for a leader class figure. You do feel like you're getting your money's worth as opposed to Evasion Mode Optimus. So if you were waiting for this Optimus to come out and then instead of Evasion Mode, instead of not Evasion Mode, but First Edition is what I was trying to say. This is a much better version than the First Edition. But anyways, this is Ratchet Reviews. I hope you guys like this video review, and I will see you again next time.